In this lesson, we are going to discuss about the activity network view, what activity network view is, how can we open the activity network view in the Primavera P6, and then of course we will learn to create, delete, and modify the activities in the activities network view whenever required. We will also see that how the activity relationships can be created, modified, and deleted between the different activities here as needed. Then we will learn to format certain activity in the activity network view. We will also learn to reorganize any activity or group of activities here. And finally, we will see that how can we save any modified activity network view on our computer and reopen the saved activity network view .anv file whenever required. Activity network view is simply another view in the Primavera P6 that we can use to view the project activities, and here we can add, modify, copy or delete the activities and can change the sequence, and also we can create or delete the activities relationships as needed. In other words, the activity network shows us a graphical display of the project activities that also includes the logical relationships. Please note that the activity network we can display in the top layout only, and if you observe here in the Primavera P6 screen, we can access the activity network by using the activity network icon at the top in the top layout toolbar, or we can click on view and show on the top, and we have the activity network option here that will also display the activity network view. Okay, I'll click on activity network, and as you see here, the left side of the screen, it is showing us the WBS hierarchy, while the right side is showing the activity network view. And here, as you see here, it is showing the project's activity flow in the graphical format. Please note that the activity view can also be called as PERT view as well. Now, if you can observe, at present, the activity network view is showing the activities and their relationships for the WBS element called foundation. And if we want to display the activities for the whole project, I will simply click on my project and it will show me the activity network view for all my project. Another thing, if you note down here, there are some activities that are showing in black and the others are showing in red color. That means the activities that are in black color are the boxes that are showing in black. These are non-critical activities, while the red color boxes are in fact the critical activities in our project. Now let me move to another node, let's say elevators in my project. And as you can observe here in the screen, these activities are not very much clear and I can't read them. I need to zoom in, and this can be done by using the zoom in and zoom out icon at the top in the toolbar. And there's another way. I can press and hold down the Alt key on my keyboard, and you see the cursor changes to the zoom gloss. Now, if I move my cursor up or down, left and right, and as needed, and now you see the activities for the WBS element called elevators is more clear and I can easily read them. Now, it's very easy to format these activity boxes. For example, if I right click here, I will click on activity network options, and in the activity box template, if I click on font and colors, I can change the font and I can change the back color and the box color as needed. For example, if I click on this box color and let's say I will assign some other color, I will click OK, then click apply. You see the box color has been changed. As soon as I will click on apply, the color of the boxes has been also changed. Similarly, I can change the background color as needed. Now, right now, let me click on font and colors. I will click on box colors. let me select the white color and let's see what happens. I will click on apply now. Now, as you see, the box color and the background color is changed to the white color. Similarly, if I right click here once more, I'll click on activity network options. Now, if I click on activity network layout, okay, from here I can change the layout options here. For example, if I click on show progress and click apply, it will show me the activities that has already finished and the activities that are in progress and the pending activities there. Similarly, let me go back to the activity templates. If I click on box template here, I can add the additional field in the box as needed. Currently, we have the activity name, activity ID, total float, original duration, and remaining duration showing there. Let me expand this box, and also we have the start and finish dates there. I can change the height as needed. For example, if I change it to 3 and I click on here, you see the box height has been changed already. Let me leave it to 2 only. And if I want to add any other field, I can click on add button here and can use the shift up and shift down keys to change the position of the field. I will click here and you see I can select the required field as needed. For example, if I select calendar, you see the calendar has appeared here. I will click on delete button now. Now the newly created field has been disappeared from the box. I'll click OK and let me click OK again. So that's the way we can format any activity box as needed. We can change the background color, we can change the activity box color, or we can change the text size and can add the fields and can delete the fields as needed. Now, adding the activities in the activity network view is very easy. If you can remember from our previous discussion when we were adding the activities in the Gantt chart view, we used the 3 different ways to add the activities. We used the add icon in the edit toolbar. We also added the activities by using the insert key from our keyboard. And the third way is to add the activities by right mouse click, and we can click the add option to add the activities here. So I will start by right mouse click and I will click on add option here. Now let me press the insert key from my keyboard to add the 2 activities here. So I will press the insert key twice. And now let me add the 4th activity by clicking on add icon in the edit toolbar. And that has added the 4th activity in the activity network view. Now let me rename these activities. For example, the first activity that is selected there already, I will just change it to new activity A. Then I will click on the second activity. I will rename this to new activity B. Then I'll click on the third activity. I will rename this as activity C. And the 4th activity is called new activity D. Now please note down here that the left side of the box, it represents the start of the activity, and the right side of the box represents the finish of every activity. Now creating the relationship is also easy. We can do that in multiple ways. We can use the activity details form down below, and here we can click on relationships tab. In the relationships tab, we can click on assign button to assign the relationships as needed. For example, I can assign the activity C as a predecessor to activity D, since our activity D is already selected. So if I click on assign button here, so you see the finish to start relationship has been already appeared between the new activity C and the new activity D. Similarly, we can also use the predecessors and the successors tabs in the activity details form below to assign the relationships as needed. Now there is another way. For example, if I want to assign a finish to start relationship between the activity A and activity B, I will move my cursor to the finish side of the activity A till it changes the arrow-like symbol. I will keep my mouse pressed and I will move it to the start of the new activity B, and you see the finish to start relationship between new activity A and new activity B has appeared there. In a similar way, we can establish the finish to start relationship between the activity B and the activity C as needed. Now let me zoom the activities so that we can see this clearly. So we have created the finish to start relationship between all these four activities, as you can observe here in the activity network view. Now deleting an activity in an activity network view can be done by using the delete icon in the edit toolbar, or we can select the activity by left mouse click and we can right mouse click to select the delete option, and this will delete our activity from there in the activity network view. For example, I am going to click on the delete button. It will give me, are you sure you want to delete the selected activity? I will say yes, and you see the activity B has already disappeared. So deleting the activity this way will also delete the relationship with its predecessor and the successor activities. Now let me create the finish to start relationship between the new activity A and the new activity C. Since the activity C is already selected there, I will click on predecessors and then I will click on assign button. I want to assign the new activity A as a predecessor to my activity C. So what I will do in the assign predecessors window, I will select the new activity A and assign it by clicking on the assign icon here as a predecessor to the activity C. As you can see, the new relationship has been created here. And if we just want to delete the relationship, it's very easy. All we need to do is I will click on that line, the relationship line, and you see the color has been changed to blue. That means this relationship is selected, and if I click on delete button from my keyboard, it will give me the message that are you sure you want to remove the selected activity relationships? I will click yes, and you see the relationship we just created is deleted now. So this is how we can create and delete the relationships as needed. I will create the finish to start relationship again. I'll click on activity C. Predecessors tab is already selected there in the activity details form, and I will click on assign button. I want to assign the new activity A as a predecessor to new activity C. Okay, so again we have created the finish to start relationship. Remember what we have just said, that deleting an activity will also delete the successor and the predecessor relationships with the activities as well. Now what happens if we dissolve an activity? Now watch what happens. Let's say I'll click on new activity C and I will right mouse click here. I will click on dissolve option, giving me the message, are you sure you want to dissolve the selected activity? I will say yes, but it is warning me that this cannot be undone. That means if you dissolve an activity, it cannot be undone. I will click yes. Now you see what happens. Our activity C is disappeared, but dissolving an activity has created an finish to start relationship between the activity A and activity D. In other words, dissolving an activity means once we select the activity and right mouse click and select the dissolve option, the selected activity will be deleted, but The finish to start relationship will be created by the Primavera P6 algorithm automatically between the predecessor activity and the successor activity in the activity network view. We can easily reposition the activities that are there in our activity network view. As you can see here, what we need to do is we need to simply click on any activity that we want to reposition, and we can reposition it to the required place as needed in the activity network view. For example, if I click on new activity D or new activity A, if I want to reposition, as I said, I will left click here and keep pressed my mouse till like the cursor changes to the hand-like symbol, and I will drag my mouse to the new position here, and you see the activity position has been changed. Similarly, if I click on the next activity, I can drag it on the right, and this is how you can reposition your activities. And if you have multiple activities, you can select them at once like this, and we can drag the multiple activities at the same time. Now please note that here and observe, if I change back to my Gantt chart view by clicking on the Gantt chart icon here, it will give me the message, do you want to save your activity network position changes? Let's say I will click on no at this stage, and we are back to our Gantt chart view. Now, in order to go back to the activity network view, I will click on activity network icon here. And if you can observe in the activity network view, both our activities that we had repositioned previously has been arranged automatically by the Oracle Primavera P6 software. So what does that mean? That means in order to keep the changes in the activity network view, for example, let's say I will reposition this activity and I want to save this activity network view. Now the procedure is to visit the view menu from the top, and then I can click on save network positions. Let's say, for example, test. I will click on save button here. It will say, do you want to replace it? I will say yes. Okay, so now this activity network view has been saved as a test.anp file into our hard drive, so that we will not lose the manual repositioning whenever we will use the test.anp file. For example, I will click on view, open network positions. I will say no, because we have already saved this activity network view as a test.anp file, and simply once I click on test.anp, I will click open. You see, so our repositioning is retained there. And even after changing to the Gantt chart view and by switching the activity network view, although the Oracle Primavera P6 software has reorganized these activities automatically, I can still have my settings there and I can access that by clicking on view, activity network. I can click on open network positions, and here once I will open this test.anp file here, you see all our manual repositioning that we have done previously are saved here. Okay, great. So we have reached the end of our lesson now. So let me quickly summarize what we have covered in this lesson so far. As I have said in the beginning of this lesson, that like Gantt chart view, activity network view is nothing but simply is another view in the Primavera P6, which we can use to view the project activities. And here we can add, modify, copy or delete the activities, change the sequence, and also we can create or delete the activity relationships as needed. We have learned to create, delete, and modify the activities in the activity network view. We have also seen that how the relationships are created, edited, deleted between the activities here as needed. Also, we have learned to format a certain activity in the activity network view. And now we know already that what is the procedure to reorganize a certain activity or group of activities in the activity network view. Also, we have learned to save the modified network view on our computer, and we have learned to reopen the saved activity network view whenever required. Okay, good. So if you have any question about activity network view, let me know in the Udemy question and answer section of this course. So see you in the next class. Goodbye.